All right, Kevin, we're doing another episode of the Far Left Lane podcast. Happy Sunday, everyone. Trem, you want to come sing a spiritual song with us? I wrote a song for us that would be like good since we release these on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on a classic. Some of you might know it, but I got pretty creative with this one. Okay. Our pod is an awesome pod.
This is super sacrilegious.
And like and subscribe. Comments, like and subscribe. Our pod is an awesome pod.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll end the show with a more like kind of dramatic version of it. Also, happy birthday to Sweet Dee Reynolds. We're big fans of the show It's Always Sunny, and she is turning, however old she's turning today. I don't think you're supposed to say that sort of thing.
If I had to guess, I'd say 51.
Okay, I was thinking she's probably like 50-ish. So what are we going to talk about today, man?
Let's start with something light, like abortion. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about abortion.
Let's pop some drinks and talk about abortion. Insert sound effect. I got some notes. What's the most interesting story of the week, you think?
So, story of the week. I feel like you may know more current events going on. Some of the stuff that I've been reading have been very boring, like the apostrophe stuff. People saying, should the apostrophe with Harris and Waltz, if they're saying like a possessive or like, something of their campaign, should it go after with another S if there's already an S? And I've never heard that. Like, that sounds, there's people debating it, but it doesn't make sense to me. If it ends in an S, you put it after.
In the year 2024, we have changed a lot of the rules that have been established, So, yeah, I guess if people want to have 3 S's in a row, which doesn't make a lot of sense, I think let's do it the way we've always done it, Harris apostrophe. I don't know. I don't even understand anyone's position on that.
Yeah. I don't know why people are debating it. It seems like a non-issue.
Yeah, and why is it coming up under this umbrella of just the Harris thing? Have we not heard the same kind of thing in other situations, other names, and other?
I think with campaigns, when's the last president we had one that had an S?
Oh, but I mean, there's a lot of people with like.
Let's think about this though. Let's think about it. Obama, Trump, Bush.
I remember
Clinton.
that. Yeah.
Is there one that has an S? There probably is, right? I don't know that many presidents.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I would just say for our listeners, put the apostrophe in the right place. Put it where it's always been meant to go.
Yeah, and the thing is, don't add the extra S if there's already an S there. That's the debate. Should we add the extra S? That is,
in my opinion, not a debate. But people online, they love to dig their heels in and die on dumb hills. So whatever.
I feel like there's more pressing stuff. So naturally, I thought we should talk about it. Because it's...
So I saw a pretty funny clip of vice presidential candidate Tim Walz and Kamala Harris having a folksy but progressive moment. Just talking, little camera just there, but they're pretending they don't know it's there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Kamala, my favorite food is white guy tacos. And she's like, what's that? And he says, white guy tacos. And she's like, so like tacos with like tuna and mayonnaise? He's like, no. It's like ground beef and cheese. And she's like, that sounds fine. He's like, but we don't season food in Minnesota. And she's like, not at all. And he's like, the spiciest thing we have in Minnesota is black pepper. And that's kind of like the whole clip. And it's sort of just dumb.
Was this something that was supposed to be funny that they actually planned and worked out?
Who knows? I think it was supposed to be one of those. The way he kind of walks up to her and he like sort of has like a bit prepared. It does feel like that was what the intention was.
Yeah.
But I just thought came across kind of dumb, and I don't know. I don't like the whole like white people don't season their food thing. I think that's dumb. Also, I didn't really like the fact that Kamala said that we eat mayonnaise tuna tacos. That sounds terrible.
That does
She
sound
just lost my vote. She never had it, but no. But the thing that I thought was also really funny is because, conservative media loves to jump and attack on anything. So
Yeah.
they did a deep dive on Tim Walz. Did it like, has he ever talked about food before? When they found a Tim turkey taco recipe from like years ago, where he seasoned it totally normal. It had all the usual suspects. It was cumin, chili
Yeah.
powder, paprika,
He was
everything. And
he was just trying to make, I think, a self-deprecating joke about white people not seasoning their food.
right, he's
Yeah.
trying to do that kind of like Midwest dad thing. But I just thought it was funny on both sides. They thought that was worthy of being a clip, and also that the media thought that was worthy of doing research on.
Yeah, I think they may need to get funnier people to work for them. If I'm assuming somebody helped write that for him, or hopefully it wasn't.
I don't know. I could see him being like, Kamala, I got a cool idea for like a little moment, little viral
Somebody
moment.
needs to tell him that when it's not cool though, or not funny.
Yeah. Well, he's a goofy dad and a teacher. He's not,
Yeah.
he's not really that interesting. I actually like Kamala a lot more than I like him, to be quite like blunt. White guy tacos. Okay, we covered it. There was something else though. Actually, let's bulk all the Kamala
Political?
stuff together.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Yeah.
political too.
Political
Yeah.
in general. Yeah, yeah. So right now, Kamala Harris is doing debate prep with a very famous Trump impersonator. They didn't say the name of who it is, but I looked at a few people and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Frank Caliendo. He is excellent at his impressions. I just think that's really funny that they're getting an impressionist to come in and like do mock debates with like, Trumpisms.
Yeah, to me, it seems like that would be like an afterthought to like think about how he's
Yeah.
gonna say something versus just like be prepared to like push him on this or you know what I mean? I don't
Right.
know, but I guess it maybe could help.
I mean, it is so far away also. I feel like if they're doing this now, she could be over prepared in a sense. And then do you know who Trump is doing his mock debates with?
No.
Tulsi Gabbard. She's like,
Oh.
I destroyed her in the last debate, so he's like, all right, well, come and coach me.
It sounded like
So I
you
guess
were
she's
gonna say Kamala. I was like, whoa, he's gonna like.
I was, yeah, yeah. So I think she's playing
That would be
Kamala
funny.
kind of like or maybe she's just like in an advisory role. But she's like, I know how to beat her in a debate, so he got her on board.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
It's interesting also that
she did a good job of attacking Tulsi when
Oh yeah, she
during the
took her
presidential.
down
Yeah.
like. But the thing that Tulsi's like all on board with helping him and campaigning for him and doing stuff, but she didn't want a position. I'm wondering why that is.
She didn't
She
want
I,
a position.
I think she was offered a position and she's like, no, I'm just here to
Oh,
help.
I thought she was like open about she would take a position with him.
I don't know.
No?
It's
Maybe
all
maybe I'm misremembering that. I do remember something with RFK, her saying she wouldn't or she declined it to do something with RFK, right?
I don't know. It's
Uh,
they've all been like doing. I mean, RFK Jr. has pursued both. Well, actually, Trump pursued RFK Jr. and RFK Jr. pursued Kamala for cabinet positions. I don't know. Everyone's just covering their asses, trying to survive.
Everyone's
But
offering everyone a job.
yeah, everyone's doing the whole. I feel like talking about Josh Shapiro anymore. It doesn't matter. He's not even like in the conversation. But doing that, a Josh Shapiro quid pro quo. The also with the RFK Jr. news, there was the moment where Trump threw a hissy fit online about Joe Rogan endorsing RFK Jr., which he didn't. He just said, "I like him. He makes sense to me." But it wasn't like I'm going to vote for him, even though he probably is. But then the next day, Trump he's like online. He's like, I can't wait to see the next time Joe Rogan goes out to a UFC event and everyone boos him. He turned on him so hard. He's such a petty little bratty boy.
You know what I just realized?
I-
We're both wearing Florida shirts. I got this one's Deep Six. You're wearing Mr. Manatee's.
What is it? I thought it said Space Force.
Oh, it does say
Yeah.
it does say Space Force, but
Yeah,
it says Deep Six on the bottom.
that's cool. Shout out to Florida. the I'm trying to do all the political things in a flowy way
Yeah.
here. So, um, yeah, so Kamala's been out there getting better, I think, every day, campaigning, sounding more natural and stuff. And, but yeah, the Democrats are trying to just essentially buy people's votes at this point. This $1.7 trillion package, for child tax credits, first-time homeowners, uh, drug cost reductions, all these things. It's a lot of money they're throwing at it, like to be like, yeah, you need to vote for us. We're gonna give you everything but some stimmy checks, which I'm cool with, because everything there, I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to say is I want them to fund that by defunding Ukraine and Israel. It's like, okay, let's take money away from these things and invest in America. Mm-hmm. That would be actually a cooler message to me than just like, we're going to keep writing checks. We're going to make America strong, but also still stuck in these dumb wars. So, well, I don't know. She's kind of...
I think some of the stuff too, though, like I feel like they could do something with interest rates where it doesn't have to be something where taxpayer money needs to just go out. It could just be something where we give out loans, which I know you still have to pay for that, but if they can just like lower the interest rates for first time borrowers instead of just giving them money, I think that would be good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder what the parallel would be, because I think it's $25,000 credit for first-time homeowners.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do. The interest rate is huge. I mean, I kind of wish that they would do that with student loans too. It's like they don't need to necessarily forgive it; just stop, making the interest rate like 6% on these very expensive college tuition. These loans.
Yeah, I haven't heard Trump or Harris say anything like that, but that makes a lot of sense to me. The other thing she's saying, which is getting a lot of support from interesting angles, is she's saying we're going to crack down on that border. We're going to make the border super tight, super secure. She's sort of like saying what she should have said a few years ago, but she's doing it now, at least. Yeah. And also she's like, we're going to frack, baby, frack. She's all into fracking now, which I don't know. I'm sort of on the fence about, because I do see, a lot of evidence of small rural communities just getting their ground, or what do they call it, water table, pretty much destroyed for generations because of improper fracking in I guess not improper ways, but maybe just kind of cutting some corners,
Right.
So I don't know how I feel about fracking exactly. Do you have any opinions on fracking?
I don't know much about it besides that's what they do to get natural gas out, right? They frack.
Yeah.
I don't actually understand what fracking is. Is that where they just create a crack?
I can kind of explain it. So it's hydraulic fracking. So they get this mixture of chemicals and water, and they pump it way down into the way down underground, where it cracks. The gas, or the water starts cracking the rock, and then gas starts coming out, and then all that water and all the chemicals come back up, and then I guess if you do it properly, then you got a bunch of natural gas. But if you do it improperly, then your groundwater is tainted, and then you have methane coming through your plumbing and stuff.
Is that where that movie came? There was some movie where they were. I don't know if it was based on a true story. It was 10 years ago, I think. It was about fracking, some drama.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it.
Sounds dramatic.
But I never saw the movie, but I kind of felt like watching the trailer, I was like, oh, fracking can be dangerous. But
fracking bad.
Yeah, fracking bad.
I would have an RFK Jr. approach, just like the way, he's like, I'm not anti-vax. Let's just have more science and research and make sure it's done properly.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing about fracking.
I actually think we should do more nuclear, just do it, but be safe with it. And I'm fine with wind. I'm fine with solar. I don't know.
I'm fine with all of it.
Nuclear seems like I want to be more futuristic. I want to go nuclear because it just seems like I want to have nuclear batteries. Well, I guess you don't need a battery to store the power.
I think China already has that. I think China's way ahead of us on that one. What looks like a AA battery, but it lasts 50 years. That's pretty nuts.
That is awesome.
I mean, if a lot of this stuff we see in our skies and military zones, where people say it's UFOs and it's our enemy's drones. It would make a lot of sense. They could power those things, nuclear. Yeah, I listened to a Peter Thiel interview. I guess it might have been a Joe Rogan or something, but he was talking about the new technology for the future of nuclear, where it's going to be like smaller reactors.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that's kind of a fun idea. I like anything miniature, mini Oreos, mini Beanie Babies, teeny beanies.
You like your
mini,
handheld gaming devices.
I like portable. Great, yeah. I like all things mini. So yeah, mini reactors
Headphone
sounds
amps,
adorable.
Fender Mustang.
Yeah,
Fender
dude. I
Mustang
like
micro.
small stuff.
Yeah.
So the fracking thing, I don't know. Let's do more research.
Yeah.
But Kamala Harris is cool for fracking and also border security now. So she's getting some people, who are not into her before being like, wait, is she being reasonable? Sort of like the John Fetterman thing, where John Fetterman had an awakening. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna be a little more moderate, a little more centrist.
And then Trump is still calling her communist.
Far left,
She's
radical.
like she's a radical.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think she's like she's more radical than Bernie. It's like I like Bernie, but I don't see her being to the left of Bernie at all.
Yeah.
Any sane person, but I guess it riles up the base.
Do you know the comedian and podcaster Theo Vaughn?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw Bernie was on there.
He had
Yeah,
Bernie on recently.
I watched
like
part of
half
it.
an hour, but
Yeah.
yeah. I thought it was a pretty cool conversation.
Yeah. No, Theo Vaughn sounded actually like he was very receptive to the same things that Bernie liked. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
from what I watched.
Yeah, multiple times Bernie's like, he's like, Theo, you said it better than I could have ever said it. And I was like, man, that's so cool to see people like, that you never expect to see have a conversation like that.
Yeah.
Same with like when it was Andrew Yang and Shane Gillis. Like that was an awesome conversation.
I don't think I've seen
We just
that.
don't-
When, was that recent or
It was probably 2 years ago.
2 years
I
ago?
guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to
was a
talk
while
about
back.
another political thing, another interview. Vivek Ramaswamy and friend of the show, Mark Cuban from our Snark Take
Yep.
stuff. He watches.
We should put that clip in.
Did
that's another interesting conversation. I saw clips.
Yeah,
That's it.
I actually watched the whole thing. They were agreeing like a good chunk of it, and then like towards the end they started talking about like politics where they disagree. I know they agree like on like capitalism, which I think
Yeah.
both of us do too. I mean, I'm pro capitalism.
Right.
But it was interesting because like Mark Cuban was talking about like some of the stuff he doesn't like about Trump, which is stuff we've already talked about too. Mike Pence, him asking him not to certify the election, finding votes in Georgia. He was bringing all this stuff up, and I thought his response. I was expecting him to push back more. He's like, "Well, nobody's perfect." Like he kind of like shrugged it off. I
that's a cop-out.
may be remembering this wrong exactly what he said, but it was essentially that he like shrugged off those comments instead of like I thought he was going to dispute saying no, he didn't say that.
That's not like he could have done. He's a smart guy. He could have answered that like in a diplomatic way, where it was still critical and still on board with what Mark Cuban's saying. But that's just sort of like a pass. I'm not
Yeah,
even gonna touch it.
he basically I think if he is in fact smart, I don't know. I think you said that you liked him, right? Or maybe you don't like him. I can't remember.
I don't like him as a presidential
As a president,
figure
yeah.
or
You
someone
just
in
think
politics.
he has some.
Yeah, I thought it made no sense that this guy thought he had a chance, but
Yeah.
no, I did enjoy what he was trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just expecting a little more from him, like with that, with coming back, but
Yeah, he still wants a job in the White House, so
he can't speak ill of the former president. Yeah, I got you.
the damn, I'm so disorganized, man. Sorry to the listener or viewer. I'm not a professional broadcaster anymore. I'm just winging it. Okay, so Pelosi and Pelosi's come out recently and just been very vocal like kind of the things that we thought were going on behind the scenes. She's just saying them now.
Mm-hmm.
So like, this was probably a week ago. I don't remember the platform, but she's interviewed. We could probably pull up some video. She's talking about ousting Joe Biden and stuff, and she's just doing kind of like this weird way of saying like, I never made a call, I never wrote a letter, I didn't do anything. I talked to some people, but it wasn't me. And then she also goes on the record saying, I don't believe the letter that came out of him saying I'm not going to seek re-election. She says, I don't even think he wrote that. She's getting conspiratorial. She said that was not in Joe Biden's voice. That's what I said when I heard it, but I thought I was sounding conspiratorial. She's like, that's not the Joe Biden I know. And also everyone says that's not his signature. And also it wasn't presidential letterhead. There's a lot of things there. But the thing that I thought was most interesting is when she said, she was like, when I guess from the debate, when she knew Trump's going to beat him, you know, so we don't have to get rid of him because of his age or, you know, we think he might die. We just have to get someone in there who could win. And she said, this is the quote, I've never been impressed with his political operation. And then the guy says, like, really? And she says, yeah, it just never was. And she says it so bluntly. Like, it's very Mean Girls.
What is... Yeah, that does sound very Mean Girl. What does political operation mean? Is she talking about like the campaign politically, or like just the...
I think how he operates as president, how he operated as a world leader, you know? She was like, and also the people that he surrounded himself. I think the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think she's saying, I don't think it was ever really done right. And then she goes on to say, you know, they won the White House. Bravo. She does this little Mean Girls kind of thing like that. Big deal, essentially. But she's like, I just knew we needed what we were doing. How does she say it? I think she says ain't, like in a very, she says what they were doing ain't working. Something like that. It's very weird. It was like all the quiet parts out loud kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Like, but she provided like no details as to like what wasn't working. Like, I'd be curious what she means.
I think a lot of us know. I think a lot of us know from the past few years of seeing it be kind of occasionally a clusterfuck, but for her to jump on board with that and also to get conspiratorial with the letter, I was just like, man, she's a complicated figure in Washington. I wonder, yeah, if we could find that clip. I want to get that right how she said it, but I think she said exactly like, I was never impressed with his political operation. I just wasn't. And then she goes on, like I said. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If her saying that kind of actually makes me want to defend the president a little bit. There's things that he's done that I liked, and I'm just curious what Pelosi, besides like the border, and you know, him being very old and not being able to maybe communicate very well.
Well,
like
we're gonna have to read her tell-all book that'll probably be out in like a year and a half or so.
Is she gonna retire soon? I feel like she's too old herself.
I think she's just gonna keep making cool stock plays and writing books and
Okay.
Puppeteering Washington behind the scenes. I would definitely read that. That's going to be really fascinating, like this period in history when it's either made like into a drama in a film or TV series, or if there's a cool tell-all book from a Pelosi like figure. Be fascinating. Get a little more behind the scenes stuff. So the DNC, Democratic National Convention's coming up, and I don't know. I have some predictions for it. First of all, I think that Biden's going to be treated like a king, like basically like carrying him around, crying. Everyone just like
they're going to send him off in honor.
I think it's going to be a little phony. I think we're all going to see through it. But, I mean, come on. What else are we going to do to, like, respect this old man that everyone jerked around for the past 3.5 years? And also, I think Kamala, I mean, she just seems to be doing better and better. Like, I've seen moments from her that I haven't seen before. And I got to say, again, hot stuff, dude. She's a hot president.
Hottest in the White House.
Dude, hottest president of all time.
As a straight man.
So yeah. No, I'm very open-minded, very fluid. I'm cool with a lot.
I'm very pansexual.
I think Teddy Roosevelt was a cutie, you know. George W. Bush like had kind of a puppy dog quality to him. George H.W. Bush, not really that into that.
You know,
But
George
Kamala
George
Harris.
Washington with a wig on, you know,
Oh yeah.
and some lipstick.
Yeah. I I yeah, I really do want to see. I want to see her do well. I mean, that's what I think every American should want is they want to see the next president do a good job.
Yeah.
You know. Um. So I'm hoping. And Tim Walz, get it together, dude. I don't really like what he's doing. He's disappointing me lately.
Mm.
I don't know if I have anything else that's that interesting on. Oh, dude, we should talk about this, but that's different category. I'm just making sure I don't have anything else
Okay.
political here. That's good enough.
Let's move on. Next segment. Let's go.
Space. Let's do it. Space sound. Ah. I poured it all over my chest.
What's happening in space right now?
Right now, CWISEJ1249 is an L subdwarf star, star-like object. It's hard to understand what it is, but it's rocketing at 1,000,000 miles an hour through our solar system, and it's about to go intergalactic. That's all I'd say on it.
Is it just
That's
it's just some rogue planet that's like leaving the galaxy?
I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. But the 3 citizen, astronomers caught it, and they're like, that's an interesting object, moving pretty fast in a very interesting orientation, and yeah, they discovered it. I think actually they did a couple months back, but I think it's recently been written about.
What if it's some advanced alien species that figured out, you know, we don't need to make a ship. Our planet's a ship, and then they just made a warp drive that they're like, let's go to another galaxy.
That'd be cool. I mean,
I guess that wouldn't be
ship.
I guess that wouldn't be a warp drive though. They'd probably be moving way faster.
Yeah, because right now I think I saw someone else that did the math. They're like moving like less than 20% the speed of light. So
That's still
ways to go.
That's still pretty good.
Pretty
though.
good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. I do like to think that it is something science fiction-y, you know, because that's just more fun. And then the artist rendering of it, which I don't know if we have a clip, that is also pretty cool looking. But you know, then again, these things are they come from the mind. So
Yeah.
I bet you say C-wise. I bet you don't say all the letters.
I do have
C-wise,
you know what?
J1240.
Another space thing. I'm not really prepared for this, but we should be seeing meteor showers like lately, right? Have you heard about that?
It's the Perseoid, right? Isn't that like
I
every
can't
September?
remember. Oh, wait, this
I
is just
remember
like
this
a
because
okay. This happened last year.
Every year.
Every
It's
year,
because
yeah.
every year I remember like growing up, my dad would wake me up in the middle of the night or whatever, when it was early in the school year. And oftentimes it would happen during a school night, and you'd wake me up, we'd go on the roof and watch a meteor shower. I think it's Perseoid. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm
So
a dummy,
so it's
guys.
just our if it's every year, it's just within our solar system. We just happen to.
Yeah. And also back then in 90s in Vero Beach, Florida, it was so dark. You could just see like every 10 seconds or every second you would see like 10. It was pretty cool. I haven't seen that forever. Living in a city that's just not even an option.
Yeah, I just remember
Yeah,
hearing about it recently. I was like, oh, I think
gonna
it's
fa-
happening
I'm gonna
now.
I'll fact check that, but I'm pretty sure it is the annual Perseoid meteor shower. And probably there's factors where some years it's better than others.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't think I have any other space stuff.
Okay.
AI's been pretty boring to me lately. There's nothing new happening. Last week we had kind of a little hit with one of our shorts. The Australian Ray Gun, Rachel Gunn, the Australian breakdancer. She got a lot of attention, didn't she?
Yeah.
This past couple weeks. I mean, here's kind of my final thought on it, because apparently she's kind of in the dumps, you know? It kind of sucks for the whole world to just mock I mean, I don't think she went out there to make a mockery of breakdancing. I think it wasn't like she's like, oh, I'm going to go to the Olympics and I'm just going to like get up on stage. It's going to be a total scam. I think she did her best.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that
It
good.
wasn't that good, but you know what? It was really funny, and I appreciate that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ray
I
Gunn.
mean,
And
Regan, I think what you should do next time though is you should do that kind of because she's like a gender studies person and body like some
movement
bodies physical
professor,
studies
right?
movement professor. Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that.
I think she should do that sort of thing at like a TEDx talk. I don't think it's Olympics
Yeah.
like kind of stuff. And maybe do a TED talk. Maybe you can get up to TED, but start with TEDx. That's where you should be starting, Regan. What are you doing going to Paris? Um, And also, for the record, I couldn't do any of the movement she did. I have no physicality.
Oh, I
I
think you could have
am
done that little sandwich thing that she was doing, where not sandwich, but it was like a little. I don't know what she was doing. It was like she was acting like scissors or something. There was
oh my
I
god.
don't know. She definitely looked like an amateur the way she was like sometimes rolling around.
Yeah.
But she had some advanced stuff, somewhat
No,
advanced, just not
I
Olympic
feel a little
worthy.
bad making fun of it. I think a lot of people should because come on, a lot of us probably don't even have the guts to get up and try something like that on a small stage, let alone a global stage. So good for you, Rachel Gunn. You gave it your all. I'm sad she got 0 points. I get it. I wish they could have given her a couple pity points.
Yeah.
But like I said, shoot for the stars. Do a TEDx talk or TED talk.
Oh, and to anyone that thought that she's the reason why they're not having it at the Olympics next year, that was made before. That was like made in 2023. I think the cities get to choose or something. I don't know. Like Los
Hmm,
Angeles, they said that they weren't going to have it
interesting.
at the next Olympics. So I don't know.
Huh. This isn't really a TED talk, but I do, or not a TED, not a TED talk. I just said a tech talk.
Hmm.
But there was this like massive social security card breach. Like I think all of them are out there. So I just want to get ahead of it, and I'll just say it mine right now, because I mean I don't want you to look it up on the dark web. Just get it from the source. 724-591784. Okay, that's me. You can get all my info. You can steal my identity. You can steal my podcast. Be the new co-host with Kevin. Um, what else? Do you have anything else in your notes, Kevin?
No, I don't, but I will see some for just the tech tip that you were just doing. Um, Everyone should freeze their credit. If you haven't already done that, like after the Equifax breach, just keep your
Mm,
credit frozen until you need to use your credit.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Do it with what is it, Aspirian? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
That sounds right.
Equifax and then TransUnion, I think is the other one. Do it on. I
Mhm.
think those are the big three ones. You should freeze your credit.
That's right. Um,
Next segment
well,
or
next segment I think is
the end.
the outro.
All right. Our pod
Our
is
pod
an
is an
awesome
awesome
pod.
pod. Comment
And
and like and
subscribe.
subscribe. This is so bad, dude. By the way, I made it up like 10 minutes before we started, so I didn't try that hard.
It was pretty funny. It fits.
I wish it could fade out. Like our pod is an awesome pod. Dramatic fade out.
Yeah. We could
And then it goes boom, Project 2025. Violet Lane supported.
endorsed by the Heritage Foundation.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope to
Peace.
see you next week.